What is up, folks? This your boy Dino, aka Solid Five.
And Bay Area creep keeping it real. Still spooky.
So spooky. um, so we are blessed to have a special guest today. We
That's
have
right.
Jillschoelen today.
Welcome.
I know. So excited.
Hi.
Welcome. Glad to have you. Glad
So
you
happy to be here on this
definitely.
day.
We have a lot to talk about, but we'll try to keep it, tight. Because I know we're all busy in life.
Yeah.
So, first of all, I want to know is what got you into acting?
Judy Garland.
Wow. Okay.
No, probably seriously. A marriage between I loved her so much. And when I was a kid and all through my teens, a kid and through my teens, when all the other kids are doing teenage stuff and other kid things when you're younger, I was seeking out, black and white movies and
Hmm.
trying to watch all the musicals. I scoured every week when TV Guide came out, and I would scour all the musicals, and I sang.
Wow.
And so an agent saw me when I was about 14, 15 with my guitar singing, brought me on, and that's how I got started. What happened was I initially got singing, dancing commercials. Even my first acting job was with Crispin Glover and Nick Cage, and nobody thinks of them as singers, and I guess they're not. But we did this pilot for ABC called The Best of Times. It was their first job too, and we all sang and just danced, but just like normal kids, not like
Right.
professional.
Yeah.
But there were, I think, two of us that were professional singers out of the cast of six or seven. And then I'm trying to think what else. Then the acting just kind of took over. It
Yeah.
really took over. My first big audition for a film, my first film I auditioned for was a film Blue Lagoon.
Okay.
Okay.
And I was the backup girl.
Wow.
I think I met seven times. I think it was Warner Brothers. And that, when you're a young actress and word gets out that the hottest film that they're casting, and you're right there in the mix and it's your first movie you've ever auditioned for, it kind of moved me into the acting more. And then I just started working all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were on a roll. You were like doing like hit after, you were just like doing movie after movie. I'm like, wow, and you worked with so many amazing people.
I have.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of weird like that. I always say like I think I'm more popular not for the movies but for all the people I've worked with.
Hmm.
It's
Yeah.
an impressive catalog. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Because I read that you did a lot of work in television and film in the 80s and the 90s.
hmm I did. I think my first TV film, don't quote me, but I was so green. I had no idea about anything. I knew nothing about horror. But the first one in the genre and my first TV film was Wes Craven's Chiller.
Oh wow.
I was gonna
Do-
watch that, but I didn't have time.
Yeah. So, and that, I was so excited because it was Beatrice Straight, and she had
Hmm.
won the Academy Award for Network. And of course, she was in Poltergeist. And then I loved Paul Sorvino as a character actor. I didn't know much about Michael Beck, but I knew he was popular at the time. And so it was a job. You're like 19 and,
Yeah.
it was, but yes,
Okay.
I did a fair amount of television, but a little bit more television movies, not a lot of episodic work. But I love my episodic work. I had a great role on Little House on the Prairie. I mean,
Okay.
really standout role on Little House in an episode, and I did a TV show nobody's ever heard of, Sarah.
Okay.
Do you
No, I
remember that?
never heard of it.
Amazing cast. Bill Maher,
Mm.
Gina Davis. Gina Davis was Sarah. Gina Davis, Bill Maher, Alfred Woodard, Bronson. How do you say his name? Pinchuk?
I don't know.
I don't know. Anyway, it was this amazing cast. The producers, the director, everyone was top of television.
What network was that on?
Gosh, I can't
Do you
remember.
remember?
I don't. I think it was CB. I really do.
I gotta find it. Okay.
Yeah.
No, it only did 13 episodes, but
Mhm.
they were so good. You guys, they were so good.
How was your experience
And,
on Little House on the Prairie? That's interesting.
well, that was when I was a teenager when I shot that too, and that was great because it's
Hmm.
like Little House, right? It's so
Right.
popular. It was the last season it was on, and I played a character, a blind girl. Can you imagine? It's like one of my like the best of times was silliness. But Little House, it was a hard acting role because I was blind. And in it, she falls in love with the older man, and that's what the episode is. She and Laura are the same age, but she falls in love with the older gentleman, Victor, that Victor French played that was on the show. And the whole episode was her, was my character. It was the
Wow.
weirdest thing because most of the time it's like the stars of the show. And in this particular episode, the guest star was just so prominent in the show. It was hard, but man, you learn a lot. The difference between being on like a Little House on the Prairie and a Murder She Wrote versus another show is night and day because those shows they ran for years and the crew was so tight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Knew exactly what to do. So it was like in that way it was a walk in the park, that nobody was figuring anything out.
Yeah.
And so thank heaven, for a show like that, it was that way because I was so young and it was so hard. Not easy to play a blind person and to pull it off.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine.
I could do
Because
it.
I try
Yeah,
sometimes, like there's sometimes where like I'm like, let me close my eyes and see how far I could get down the street. And when I open my eyes, I'm like super off to the side. I'm like,
You like Magoo?
that's pretty funny. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's not easy, but in this case, I had to have my eyes open and be
yeah,
dealing with people and so it was and there's no prep time. It's a TV show. You
Right.
go in
hmm,
1 week, you audition, you get the part, and in 4 days you're on set filming. And so there's no prep time for a nice role like that. You just
yeah.
have to do it by the seat of my pants.
I heard TV's like that. I heard TV has like it's such a crazy turnaround.
It can be, and that was always an adjustment for me because I mostly did films.
Hmm.
You have more time, and then all of a sudden they're shooting, you know, 40 minutes or whatever it is, 43 minutes in 7 days
Right.
as opposed to weeks.
Yeah, yeah.
Weeks, weeks.
I couldn't imagine.
Yeah.
But then I saw you also did Shattered Spirits with Martin Sheen early on.
Yes.
How was so
Oh,
like I mean Martin's such a established actor and he's well
yes.
respected and so how was that? Because like you do I mean obviously you're doing a lot of work already and then you get into that role and like Martin's just progressively getting worse as a an alcoholic and
Mm.
like so to see that like kind of come to life on film you're like
Yeah.
oh this guy is just a maniac or whatever it is.
And he was. I mean, he's like, whoo. But that was a different experience because I had just shot, I think that was before Stepfather, but
Right.
after that was Then This Is Now. So I had shot That Was Then This Is Now with his son, Emilio.
So anyways, I'm standing there waiting to use the payphone.
Yeah, he was, seriously.
And this guy who's on the phone turns around and tips his hat like this.
And who do you think that guy was?
Emilio Estevez.
The Mighty Duckman, I swear to God, I was there.
Of course you were. You were the one who yelled the Breakfast Clubber's name.
I was like, Emilio!
Oh, Emilio.
That was in This Is Now in the books, is the sequel to The Outsiders.
Okay.
And then, but when Paramount picked up That Was in This Is Now, they wanted to not make it a sequel and modernize the story. So I had shot that with Emilio, so I got to know his sister really well, and his one brother was in the film too, not Charlie Ramone. And then I find myself like only a little while later, like working with his dad and the sisters there, Renee, and that's the part I remember more the personal aspect of it. But I felt so honored to be a part of that cast. I think I always loved Roxana Zal.
Yeah.
To me, she's an underrated actress for in today in terms of people thinking, because she didn't do horror movies and the kind of stuff that was on. She was so popular in television films,
Hmm.
but she was so good. And then who else was in it? Melinda Dillon? I think it was Melinda Dillon who was in Close Encounters
Oh
of
wow.
the Third Kind. Remember, she's the mom to the little boy that, runs away in Close Encounters. And then Martin Sheen, and then Lucas Hawes, and Matthew Labrador, who was in Little House. So it really had a
Hmm.
Wow.
phenomenal cast.
And I want,
Fun.
yeah,
He's
that's
amazing. I only had one or two interactions. I mean, we were on set quite a few days because I was there, but I didn't participate working with him. But he's so consummate. He's
Yeah.
yeah.
amazing.
I can only imagine. Like it's just were you saying, Nick?
I'll say besides that, you worked with a lot of well-known actors like Brad Pitt and Keanu Reeves,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Morgan Freeman, Drew
yeah,
Barrymore.
yeah.
How were all these experiences working with these actors who end up, who just blew up in a huge,
Wait,
huge.
before she answers that, I wanted to ask you about Babes in Toyland
Yeah.
because being on set with Drew Barrymore and Keanu Reeves, I was kind of like I was like, jokingly, I was like, did you ever look at them and be like, look, guys, I don't know if you guys are gonna make it.
Well, I mean, Drew was already so
Right,
famous.
right.
He was already so famous.
Yeah.
Keanu, I knew things were going to happen with him because he was already set up to have everything happen for him.
Yeah.
I mean, he had done nothing, almost nothing at that point. And yet, here I was, I had worked quite a bit already. He got better billing than I did, probably made 2 or 3 times as much money as I did. He did a TV movie with Robert York, and he had done River's Edge, which didn't even have a deal to come out.
Hmm.
Mm.
I remember when we were going to screenings for River's Edge and, for distribution after Babes in Toyland. But he had a great agent, and I do remember like he had so much heat on him, and yet nothing he had ever done had ever come out. So that taught me a lot about the importance of a good agent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got the best.
But good agents are, and I made a joke about that because I had the best agent and I loved her. But she didn't have the power to get the certain money and blah 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 blah. But she was a great agent. And Keanu, his agent, had both the
Hmm.
power
Right.
to get you the good deals and was a great agent. People that handheld him, and so it seemed like good things for him. And there was just something about him that was just so endearing. He was
Yeah.
he was lovable.
Yeah. Great charisma.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I was gonna say that about Brad Pitt, like on Cutting Class, because like even though that was like one of his earlier roles, there was something about his like screen presence that was like I was like looking as I was watching it recently, I'm like this guy has like a presence to him. It's crazy. Even at that age, I was like, no wonder why he got like picked over, a bunch of other people and made it as far as he did, now.
Well, he definitely, he was one of those people, definitely, that just absolutely, undoubtedly, he had charisma.
Yeah.
Had a ton, I mean, it just oozed out of him. Some people just do. I've had this experience a couple of times in life. I've met like so many famous people in my life, uncountable amount,
Mm.
hugely famous. But there are some people that like I only met two of the Beatles, Ringo Starr and Paul McCartney. But when Paul McCartney walked into the room, it he just had something. I can't explain it. Same thing, Liza Minnelli. She just
Mm.
has, there's like I don't know what it is. And I do think that Brad has a bit of that too. He just had that kind of charisma where people wanted to know him or be close to him or get to know him. He has a great personality,
Yeah.
had a lovely personality.
And
Tell all these
Very,
people to share it.
you also got to work with Ronnie McDowell, who played in Fright Night as Peter Vincent.
yeah.
And so I wasn't working with him because in Fright Night, like I loved his character in Fright Night. I thought Peter Vincent was amazing, an amazing vampire killer. So I was working with him on set.
Oh, well, I was so happy to work with him. He was probably one of, at the time, my feelings about Cutting Glass have changed because of the fans. Because a lot of fans like it. Some people maybe don't, but a lot of fans like Cutting Glass. And so my feelings have warmed towards that film.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember at the time thinking, like, oh, I'm going to get to work with Roddy McDowell. So I love that. I missed working with him on Fright Night. I used to tease Tom Holland,
Mm-hmm.
who wrote and directed Fright Night, because I
Precisely.
screen tested for that. And William Ragsdale, I screen tested with him.
Yeah,
He's the
Wow.
person I screen tested with. And of course, he plays Charlie.
yeah.
And I love teasing Tom Holland. Boy, you really made a mistake.
That would have been amazing.
I don't really mean that. I'm just
Yeah.
playing.
That would have been so amazing. Fright Night is one of my favorite vampire movies. I love that movie so much. That's one movie that I could just watch over and over and over again and never get bored of.
It's a fun film. I mean, I remember more the script.
Mm-hmm.
I remember my experience more reading the script because I think I probably read it quite a few times. And I did screen test, and I don't know if Tom was being just nice to me or not wanting to hurt my feelings or something, but he
Yeah.
did test me. I read and met with him a couple of times and eventually screen tested. But he likes to say, "Oh, Jill, it wasn't me, it was the studio. The studio did not
It's
approve you."
always it's always the studio's fault. Who were you screen testing for? Was it Amy? Was it the character Amy?
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
Amy.
in tight, yeah.
Yeah. I so wanted that. I can think of a lot of, I won't go into them. That one just came up, but
Mm-hmm.
there are quite a few movies that where you're right there.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know if it means I'm kind of shitty, but
No,
I wanted
no.
to always be number two for a lot of big films.
It
I
means
mean,
they got bad taste. That's what they got. They got bad taste. It's not you, it's them. That's for
Yeah.
damn sure.
or it just wasn't meant for whatever reason, when I got pregnant and left the business. So maybe psychically in the error, I was just, always that girl that would be in the consideration. But then I was meant to go and be a mom and raise kids.
Well, everything happens for a reason, I
Yeah.
believe.
Yeah,
Well,
I
because
think so.
you did Stepfather with Terry O'Quinn,
Yeah.
and
Which I love that
that
movie too.
yeah, that's
That's such
so
a great
good.
movie.
Yeah, I was like, I watched it again recently, and I was like, My God, this is like so good.
Yeah, he's all wait, who am I again?
Yeah.
I love that movie. It's so good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
You were wonderful.
he does that so good. One
Oh
of the things
yes.
I say I'm going to do some fun stuff online for Instagram or something where I play Terry O'Quinn.
Hmm.
And I'm like, wait a minute, who am I here?
You should write a
He does
stepmother.
it so good.
Yeah.
He's so good in that film.
Hmm.
I saw something that he terrified you on set. Like
Uh, well, I in at the end of the movie when we shot the chase scene
yeah.
at the end, they did shoot that all at once, and it took about a week, if I remember correctly. And I had a lot of nightmares during the that week. Like every night, I was like having nightmares of being chased, and
Yeah.
yeah,
He
He
did a good
turned it
job.
up. Yeah, he turned it
He
up.
did a good job then. He did his job.
yeah.
Oh
Oh,
man.
yeah.
And
Loved making the stepfather.
did you ever talk to Terry O'Quinn after that? Like, was he ever like, "Hey, sorry for being so hard"?
Oh, no, I have never talked to him. I
Mm,
don't think Shelley either.
Yeah.
Next year, you guys, is the 40th anniversary of the
wow.
stepfather. And I am just so hopeful because the stepfather is not that easy to find.
Hmm.
You know, they don't like popcorn. So far this year, I think I have two or three screenings where people have invited me. They're flying me out to wherever. It's such a beloved film in that way. And I think Stepfather is very hard to get your hands on that
Hmm.
film and
Was
to
it
do
on
it
Prime?
properly, legally,
Right, right.
Yeah, yeah. Like a hard copy.
Yeah, to where you have to, pay the rights for it
Yeah.
to show. And it's just, it's not out there. And the thing is, it stands up.
It does.
It's a film that really stands up and over time, and you could so easily see it
Yeah.
on all the streaming networks, but it's rarely plays out there.
It's a great movie though. I remember watching it in the beginning where he's on the airplane and he's putting on his mustache and his little hair and he's setting up to go on to his new life.
Yeah,
It's such a great film and it's so scary because like this guy could exist in real life and it's a terrifying movie.
Yeah.
And the
that
act
is
and
it.
yeah, and the acting that he portray in it, and he portrays in it, he does. You do such a great role with the acting, and he does such a great role staying in character during the switches of his personality, of his persona that he's upholding.
Yeah. Yeah, he is so good in it. And you really hit the nail on the head when you said about that could happen. For
Hmm.
me, I always feel like the best scary movies, I wouldn't even call them horror movies, I'll just say scary,
Yeah, yeah,
the ones based in reality. I mean,
Yeah.
for me, that's why I was so excited to do When a Stranger Calls Back.
such a great movie too. I love When a Stranger Calls.
Because when I saw When a Stranger Calls, I was like, I thought that was the most terrifying thing as a girl,
Yeah,
and babysitting for people or being home alone. And, if you're of a certain age, there were no cell phones. All you had were home phones. And some people did have two lines in the house, and most didn't, but some home
yeah,
houses did. So it was so based in reality. And I think the stepfather, with our divorce rate in this country at 50% or more, and being very hard on children,
hmm,
I think it just brings up a lot of reality.
yes.
Yeah.
See, a lot of people think very poorly of their step parent, right?
Right.
So,
I
yeah.
agree. I agree too. I think no, I think the best movies that hit are the ones that feel you get the most realism out of it. Like you
Yeah.
said, it's like Stepfather and When a Stranger Calls and like the movie Fear, like the Fear when she has a psycho boyfriend that terrorizes her.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that is that is terrifying to watch. So I totally get it. I'm on the same page as you.
The reality, sometimes when they go so far with blood and guts, and that is a value in horror. It has definitely has a place.
Yeah, it's entertaining.
Not quite as right. It's not as terrifying
Yeah.
Yeah.
as the real life stuff. Like,
Hmm.
oh, that could happen.
Yeah, like blood and guts. It's more like of an entertainment value. Like, oh, you got entertainment out of it, but then like, oh, like some chills. Like you get watching like
Yeah,
like someone looking over your shoulder. So totally
yeah,
understand. Yeah.
yeah, for
And
sure.
so I guess we'll get into popcorn now.
Okay.
So how was the set on that? Because like was that shot in an actual like theater or was that just like a stage where you guys just kind of like, set up some shots?
Well, let's step back for 1 second because I think you don't know that there was somebody else playing my part on the film, and they filmed half of the movie.
Oh no, I didn't know that.
Made a change.
Hmm.
So I can't answer some of your questions because I wasn't there in the beginning.
Okay.
I came into the film, I got a phone call um, saying I had met on the movie. I met Bob Clark and I met the director. And
Mark
no,
Hero,
he wasn't the original.
Alan Amsbury.
Alan Ornsby.
Yeah.
Alan Ornsby, who is not credited in the film, even though
Yeah.
he wrote it. And Alan was the director. And I don't know if it's true, but I was told that Bob Clark wanted the other actress, Alan Ornsby wanted me. It wasn't working out. And she's a lovely actress. And but sometimes, the part has to be right for the actress. I'm so lucky I've never been fired, but almost every actor I know has been fired off of
Yeah.
a film.
Yeah.
It happens to people all the time. So it had nothing to do with her not being wonderful, just wasn't the right fit. And anyway, they let go of her, and then they let go of the director, and then they
Mhm.
brought in Mark. And Mark was an actor. I'm sure you know this. He was, I think, in the Porky movies, which were Bob Clark's films.
Mhm.
And so both Mark and I came in halfway into the filming.
Wow.
And when they reshot my part, they didn't reshoot the whole scene of anything they'd already shot,
Yeah.
pretty much kept out of the other actors' close-up. So their responses are to what the other actress said,
Oh.
not to the way I said it. To me, when I see the film, I see that stuff, because
Yeah.
I'm very in tune to that. But to answer your question, I don't know about the beginning, but yes, it was in a real theater in Jamaica.
Oh
Okay.
And
wow.
there are people that have way more insight into it because when I came in, I got there at like 11, 12 midnight, got to my hotel room and did wardrobe fittings in the middle of the night till 3 o'clock in the morning. Had to be on set by 6. I think I got 2 hours sleep. That the first scene they shot was the scene at the beginning of the movie where I'm in bed. The character Maggie, she's in bed. Do you
Yeah.
remember the opening?
Yeah.
She's sleeping and she's dreaming about the real life event that happened to her, and she's dreaming. And she's tossing and turning, and all I remember is my toe being pulled because I had completely fallen asleep
Oh wow.
because I was so bloody tired.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the main part of the film, the whole thing was shot in Jamaica.
Okay.
And then it was like in an abandoned theater that it was shot in.
Mhm.
I've heard that there were, when they went to shoot there were like a bunch of homeless people living in there. They had to
Yeah.
clear that out, and Yeah, it was pretty abandoned.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
That movie has a lot of what do you call that? Trivia. Lots
Right.
of trivia around popcorn.
Oh. And so like with that movie, was it unsettling for you for like some of the gore? You know, like especially like with the transformations of the protagonist, changing his face and stuff like that and
Envelope. That always for me, Jill, personally walking around in my life, that was never my cup of tea.
right.
But so I never much enjoyed that in the moment.
Hmm.
But I had such strong, the highest of respect for the actors having to go through that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, they just sit in that chair for hours upon hours upon hours. And I had that experience both with Tom Villard playing the Toby character in Popcorn and Robert Englund in Phantom of the Opera.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, he was just like, he spent half of his day in a makeup chair. So
Yeah.
that, yeah, I feel it more from that point of view.
Hmm.
Right. Yeah.
Feeling sorry for them.
Yeah. Enduring those hours.
Yes, but
I would have been irritable. Yeah.
they were both unbelievably professional about it. Just so great.
I
Like
feel like
I could never do that. I'd be having a panic attack.
me too.
Yeah, same here. I would.
I got a panic attack just wearing the mask I do for like the other episodes.
Yeah, I get it.
Exactly. And today they probably don't do it this way because of digital stuff.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So I'm imagining that they've advanced. But back in the day, they have to make a mold of your face and they, you know,
They
put
put
plaster
the
parachute,
yeah,
yeah,
exactly, the plaster and all that stuff.
all over your face and they'd stick only, or including your mouth, and they'd stick straws up your
Hmm.
nose. You just have the straws to breathe and you'd have to sit there until it dried. Not for me. They could have filmed a horror movie with me having that done too. I could not do it.
I would have been irritable.
Oh,
Hats
it's intense. I seen behind the scenes footage of people getting makeup design like that, and it's just like just the way she said it. They're just like straws, just looking around and sitting in a chair, and they just work on his face for hours. And I couldn't do that.
No, me neither. So, right, hats off to these people that do this. And
Mike.
Tom Ballard is no longer with us,
Hmm.
the actor that played Toby.
Mm.
And but he was so wonderful, such a wonderful person.
Well,
And
I liked his performance too. I mean, he had a
oh,
great performance. He
yeah,
kind of turned it up like not in the same ways of Terry O'Quinn, but he was very,
yeah,
high energy and very a very angry villain. So
yes,
it was kind
yes,
of kind of a cool thing to watch.
yeah,
Hmm.
I
So
agree.
when you got in halfway into Popcorn, how long was your part of filming? Like how many weeks was that?
Gosh, I really don't remember, but they pretty much had to reshoot the whole film.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
all those scenes that I was in, I mean, I'm pretty much in every scene, almost in every scene.
Yeah.
And so I think it had to still be 4, 5, or 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And then we went to Toronto months later. The sound crew really didn't hire the right people. They used local people that were just, fine for shooting, but for a feature, sound is everything. I watched two films last night and I won't tell you what they were because I don't want to badmouth the films, and they're popular films, but new films. I can't listen to them. It sounds like the actors have microphones here. That's not the way it should be.
Hmm.
Right, right.
Reality based. The sound should be in the room. If you don't have the room, there's no sense of reality.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And now, they throw these movies out and they mic the actors up. I can't stand that sound. It just drives me absolutely bonkers.
All about the acoustics.
Yeah.
So yeah, they didn't have up to the level, sound people. So popcorn, I would say 90% of it is, they had to recreate all the sound after, including all the dialogue.
Yeah.
It was
Wow.
all so much of the film was looped. So we did that in Toronto, and then I shot some additional stuff in Toronto as well. I was there for about a week.
Wow.
Yeah.
And plus, you guys had a lot of extras too, because that room was filled with extras. I mean, we're talking like 100 people, right?
Yes,
At
and
least.
that was funny. I love that because, you're in Jamaica. I don't know what the ratio is, black to white.
Yeah.
Right.
It's heavy black to
Yeah.
white.
Yeah.
And so they had they wanted a cross section of all different people,
Mm.
and it was challenging for them, and it's Jamaica. People
Right.
don't understand being extra in
And
films, and
I was thinking that casting call.
What is this?
What
Yeah.
is this? What is this?
and then people are like, "Oh yeah, I'll be an extra. Oh, how much fun!" And after they're on the set 10 hours, they're like, "I'm leaving."
Yeah.
It's not the same professionalism
Yeah.
as being hired as an extra, and you're part of the union, and you know what your job is. And so it was a different thing. So they had some challenges that I do remember with the extras, but I love Jamaica. I fell in love with the country and
I can
spent a lot of time there for the next 3 years, tons of time there.
I can
Wow.
imagine how irritating it'll be to get all these try to get all these Jamaicans to sit the hell down for fucking hours. We need you to sit here in this chair. Sit here. They're all getting up. No, dude, stay in the chair.
We're all trying to dance and shit.
trying to bribe them with stuff.
There's a lot of that, for me, I'm just like one of these people. I've never been able to smoke pot. Like when I tried it when I was a teenager,
Yeah.
did not agree with me. And I tried it multiple times so I could be hip like everybody else.
Yeah.
But every time I had the same experience, it made me feel so weird. It made me feel it would make my heart race so bad.
Mhm.
What, like this. That's it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even strong then, pot. It did not agree with me, but
You're one of
you,
those smokers. I know those smokers.
I would have too.
you know why? This is the truth. I never knew this. My youngest son is, he's just turned 28. And when he was 14, he came to me in early January. It was right when Obamacare was happening.
Hmm.
And so we were just switching doctors as it turned out. But he came to me and he was like, Mom, can I talk to you about something? I said, Sure, honey. And he's like, You promise you won't get mad at me? And when your kid says that, you cannot get mad at your kid,
Hmm.
Right.
at that point, because they're trying to, you can see it's important to them. He said, I smoked pot. I've been smoking it. I've done it like 8, 9, 10 times now. But something happens to me when I
Yeah.
smoke pot and my heart gets fuzzy. I said, What do you mean it gets fuzzy? He goes, I can't explain it, but my heart doesn't feel right. So, as coincidence had it, the very next day we had with the new doctor, because of Obamacare, we had to change primary care physicians. And I took him to this doctor. And when she asked if he'd ever tried drugs or smoked, I said, Go ahead, tell her what you told me. And they ran an EKG on him because he
Hmm.
talked about fuzzy heart. They come screaming back in. They're like, You need to leave here right now. We've set you up to go to a pediatric cardiologist. He was like having AFib, and the cardiologist told us that 5% of the population is actually allergic to marijuana.
Oh
Oh
wow.
wow. I didn't know that.
And yeah, and that it will give you these sensations, what he had. And he said most people it will calm down, But it can, if you're older and smoking, blah, 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 and you have an allergy, it can cause AFib, and obviously that can lead to a heart attack or stroke.
Right.
Yeah.
So the good news is, I mean, I don't know about you guys, and I'm like to each their own, so no judgment here. Mom, the good news for me was my son never did drugs
Yeah.
Yeah.
because that really scared the shit out of him. He thought, okay, the drugs aren't for me. When they talked about that he had a real heart problem
Yeah.
as a result of. So that I learned a lot right then. And then I was like, oh, no wonder he's probably that way because it's genetic. That's why it
That's
never.
what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
You pass that down to them.
But in Jamaica, good luck getting away from it.
It's like everywhere. Just
Give every
crowds.
give every extra joint.
They'll be
You know
fine. Yeah.
what? We had very calm crew members.
We'll get it done, guys. Just chill out. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad your son's okay, and I'm glad they located that,
Yeah.
immediately. Dude, genetics is fucking insane.
Yeah.
Right?
It's so insane because I'm allergic to avocados, right? And I developed my
Same
allergen
here.
in my 20s. My son, he's 18. In his early teens, he developed the allergen to avocados, just like I did.
Isn't that
Yeah,
amazing?
it's crazy.
That is so crazy. Well, as a parent, you guys are parents, you know, I always like beating myself up for what I did wrong. You
Hmm.
know,
Yeah.
I always that's maybe just because I'm a woman, I don't know.
No, same.
I beat myself up for what I did wrong. And I don't know why I don't give accolades for what I did right, but I know that my boys always talk to me and still to this day do because
Yeah,
that's something I did really right. Because if I was a different kind of a parent, he never would have come to me.
yeah,
Right.
He never
True.
would have come to me. He could not be alive today,
yeah, yeah,
But he felt the comfort because, I was a single parent. I mean, my ex-husband, he more saw them at their games and, a holiday and on some weekends, but I was the day-to-day parent. I was the one raising them in that kind of way. And so I talked to my boys. I had to take on mom and dad roles of talking about drugs and sex and this. So they really talked to me about everything. I
yeah.
like. So I did something right.
Yes, you did.
Obviously. Yeah. Clearly. Um. Do you enjoy like all these years later the whole like popcorn kind of having a resurgence in a way? Um. Do you enjoy going to like the conventions and stuff like that of like meeting the modern fans?
I am so glad you asked because, I just don't get invited to them. I always say this, and I'm thinking one of these days I'm going to say it and then I'll start getting invited, but I just don't get invited to shows. And the thing that bothers me most about that are the fans
Yeah.
because I love the fans. I love meeting the fans, and I feel like they're robbed of not seeing some of their people that they
Hmm.
love so much. Great if you're in Friday the 13th and of the smallest part, you're
Yeah.
going out to every convention
Yeah.
or Nightmare on Elm Street or all the franchise stuff. And
Yeah.
then now, then I think all new popular people, the conventions have become so popular that it's kind of pushed out a lot of the old timers, especially people like me that aren't are not associated with a franchise. But I love meeting the fans. Oh gosh, I love it so much. If it weren't for the fans, I wouldn't be doing this podcast.
Yeah.
True.
I
Exactly.
wouldn't, I'd be trying to play golf, except I can't play golf right now with my neck surgery coming up.
Hmm.
I'd be, out there just playing tennis and golf every day and living a very, very retired life. But what brought me back to the table are the fans.
Yeah.
My interest in it now is like the fans. I recently did a couple movies and they're coming out. Do you know this? Are you
Yeah.
aware?
No.
One of them was a Christmas one, and the other one's like kind of like a slasher, right?
Well, it's called A Dying Art. It's
Dying
in the
Art, yeah.
genre. Yeah, it's in the genre. And then the other one is also, the Christmas one is in the genre as well. It's Christmas comedy horror
Okay.
Okay.
back in huge horror twist. And great. I'm hopeful they're both very, very good. I've seen neither, but I was so happy making them. Love the people involved. And Logan Miller, do you know Logan Miller?
I think I've heard the name before, but I can't think of.
Escape Room. He starred in Escape Room. Did you see Escape Room?
There's like four
This
different
one,
ones.
yeah, which one? Because there's more than one.
He did the first two. He was a star of the first two, but he's a star of this. He just has also a new movie that just came out. I forget the name
I
of
think I
it.
just followed him too, but I just can't think of like.
Is it Escape Room from 2027? I mean 2017?
Yeah.
Okay. We see that one. We did see that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
And anyway, that's A Dying Art. And then I did this anthology film as well. And that I loved doing them. I love doing them, but now I forget my point I was making, but about the fans. It's just, they're everything. I'm not doing I love the work, but if I thought it was a really bad movie, I wouldn't do it. A lot of people
Right.
would just work to work. But for me, I, want to be in things are a little bit better. And when I made the Christmas album and I put Barbara Crampton on
Yeah.
it and Judy Aronson and Chrissy Fox and Diane Franklin, I did that for one reason and one reason only, the fans. I thought how much fun it would be for the fans to have all these horror ladies
Yeah. Yeah.
Final
on a
girls. Yeah.
Definitely.
Christmas song. I just thought that was hilarious and fun. And in a world that's so full of so much darkness right now,
Yeah.
let's let the horror girls bring some light into the world.
Remember, David? Escape Room was the one where his girlfriend's locked in the cage,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
and that one guy's being an asshole to everybody and fucking
Yeah.
being a dick.
The whole movie. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
Okay.
I enjoyed that movie.
Yeah, it was fun. Um.
So
So
yes,
so
I love those fans, all the fans. I just can't believe them. Oh, and the horror fans are the most, they're like fans like of what people are to fans are to their favorite sport team.
Yeah,
You know,
or
right.
or
they
to music artists, same deal.
Yeah.
they just so support them and I love them.
Horror
Well,
fans are diehard.
you hear that Comic Con? Well, hopefully someone hears this and invites you to a Comic Con, and you get out there and you get to meet the people who love you just the way you love them.
Well, I love that. I am going to Buffalo, New York, and it's a bit of a show. It's like a show, but they're screening popcorn
Hmm.
Awesome.
show. But it's not your typical convention. But I am doing a traditional convention in Germany in September.
Oh wow.
And then I'm going to Indiana where I'm doing a film festival.
Yeah.
I get more invited to film festivals because people like to screen popcorn. What is it? I'm asking you guys now. Why do people want to screen popcorn? Why is that the kind of movie that people like to go
Um.
see?
Well, the first time I watched it, I was very young, and I remember and I don't think I saw a lot of horror films at that time. So that was like one of those that kind of stuck out because it was like one of the early ones that I, was able to enjoy. And then but it always stuck to me. But then like now there's such a nostalgia factor for like 80s and 90s horror, like it's made a huge splash all over social media recently. And so when it popped up again recently, I was like, oh, dude, I remember like watching that and being like, yes, like I remember going to the video store and renting that movie and just kind of like glued to the TV, like, oh, this is this is fun, you
Hmm.
know. Um, so I think a lot of it has to do with nostalgia. Uh, and that definitely I couldn't even find it on streaming recently. I had to buy it.
That's enough. I'm
Mm.
telling you, all my movies are like, hello. It's like, is she live? Was she in films?
Yeah,
No,
so
a lot of your work is on streaming. Even Stepfather.
I had to stream Phantom of the Opera.
I had to buy that one too.
I'm sorry, guys.
No, no,
I found
it's
it. It's all
fine.
good. I found it. I found it on Flickster or something like that, and I'm like, boop, it popped up. I'm like, yeah, like watch it. But like I said, he got lucky because he bought the hard copy of it, didn't you?
Yeah,
Phantom of the
on
Opera.
Blu-ray.
Yeah, so he
Yeah,
got lucky and he found it. So where'd you find that at?
Amazon.
Oh, so there you go.
I sell copies of it too on my website. And by the way, for anybody listening, I do have a website, jillschoelen.com. And again, I did this all for the fans. I did proprietary t-shirts and hats for the Stepfather
Nice.
Mm,
and for popcorn. I do have some Phantom of the Opera, but I just did a few of those and I brought them out to a show, and strangely, those just really sold up very, very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have those on the website, but I do have a couple left. But and then I think I don't have popcorn, but I have the Stepfather in 4K. They
Mm-hmm.
gave me
mm.
4Ks and the Blu-ray before the 4K came out. And I think I have a lot of Phantom of the Operas. You know, when you do the commentary, they
Okay.
like to say thank you. Here are some, take them out to the conventions and
Yeah.
show. So anyway, so it's available. All that fun stuff is on my website.
Which will
If
be
you
on
can
the
find
link
it,
on the
want to buy it,
yeah. There'll be a link
Yeah,
on the
definitely.
description. Yeah.
great.
Um.
You.
Yeah, I gotta for sure. I gotta check that out too because I love all that stuff. So
Yeah, yeah. I mean, look at your
um,
background.
I know, right? Yeah.
all mine spread it out in my room everywhere. That's where I got mine stuff at.
Gotta get more hooks. Um, so real quick before, well, actually, maybe a couple little things. Um, so how was your experience working with Robert England? Because that was such like, were you excited when you booked that role? Because Freddy Krueger.
Absolutely. How do you not be excited? Remember,
Yeah.
at the time, the Broadway musical was everything. Like everyone wanted to see Phantom of the Opera on
Hmm.
Broadway. Of course, the downfall of our Phantom of the Opera is that it was on the heels of that.
Okay.
Mm,
To be able to be cast in any version of a Phantom of the Opera, I mean, there are I'm in history books on Phantom of the Opera because playing Christine is one of the films that have been made.
Hmm.
I was very excited to work with Robert. I knew he was Freddy Krueger, but I didn't know much else about him. But I knew he was an
Yeah.
actor,
yeah.
beyond horror. And because it's different, back in the day, there were like soap opera actors, TV actors, horror actors, and film actors. I was considered a film actress. I wasn't really considered part of the genre because The Stepfather, when it was made, it was not like, oh, we're making a horror movie. They were making a suspense thriller.
Yeah.
Right.
And so anyway, but I knew Robert was well beyond a horror actor. That much I did know about him. And I was just so excited to work on the film. And we shot it in Budapest,
Wow.
Hungary, which at the time was still under the Soviet Union. The wall had not come down yet.
Hmm.
Wow.
So we just had this amazing experience, and it was fun. His wife we just had the best time. Just a phenomenal shooting experience.
Yeah, because not only did you work with Robert England, but you also worked with Molly Shannon from Superstar and
Right.
SNL.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And which I thought was pretty fucking cool.
Well, I think that was probably her first job. And so I had an assistant at the time. Her name was Tanesh, and she's a very good friend of mine. And Tanesh, she went with me to Hungary, but she also went with me to Jamaica for
Yeah.
pop.
Mm.
And Tanesh is the type of person where like when she meets you, she's everybody's best friend for life.
Hmm.
So, she really stayed, well, I mean, we all stayed in touch with Molly, but she became friends with Molly and really good friends with Molly's best friend where they grew up together in Ohio. Now both girls were in LA. And it was fun to see everything happen to Molly because Molly was just, not famous, nothing. It was just an actress, probably her first movie. And that character that she did on SNL,
Hmm.
or whatever it's called, Saturday Night Live, the Catholic girl that
Hmm. Hmm.
can't
Yeah.
Yeah.
spell
Superstar. Yeah.
to do that for us, like in the living room all the time.
That's all I was gonna ask. I was gonna ask, is she like just like a laugh riot like on set? Because like it's a horror movie. And when I saw her in there, I just like look closer. I said, "What the hell is she doing in there?" I was
No,
like,
Molly, I don't think of Molly that way. I mean, we were friends. Molly came to my wedding and, you
"Oh, it's
know,
amazing."
when I think of Molly, I think of, I don't even, I almost forget that she was in Phantom of the Opera. And so it's nice to be reminded about that. Thank you, because that's how I met her. But she's just like Molly, and she's fun, great personality, fantastic personality. But then she had those characters that she did
Yeah,
too.
Yeah.
And I mean, she's a riot. She's just a riot. And then so it was exciting to see her career boom. And it was nice because this year both she and Robert both got stars on the Walk of Fame.
Oh wow. Yeah, yeah. I was very excited for Robert to get his. I was like, why
Yeah.
wouldn't he get it, you know?
Yeah, it was nice. I was there. I went. I was invited.
Oh, that's so cool. I would have
Yeah.
let it been a fly on the wall on that one.
Yeah. It was great.
Were-
It was so wonderful for
So
him.
also when you filmed that, were you excited to so did he actually sing or was that like dubbed over?
No. So it was really funny because I do sing. I don't sing opera,
Right.
but I probably could have trained for that with enough lead time. But and I'm so sorry I can't remember her name, and I should know her name off the top of my head, but it's been years. The woman that played Carlotta, she was a very, very, very famous singer in
Mhm.
England and starred in all the shows in the West End, which is in London, England. That's like our Broadway.
Okay.
Stephanie Lawrence.
Yes, Stephanie Lawrence. She was such a popular singer actress in the West End. And then here they have these musical people playing these parts. And I shouldn't say they even dubbed her. The music was done long before we were ever even cast.
Okay.
Okay.
It was a done deal. I don't think they never tried to find somebody that could sing, none of that. They
Yeah.
just were looking at the actors because they knew they already had the music.
Yeah.
But it was still fun. I think the reason it comes across the way I do it is because my musical ear, I was able to match.
Hmm. No, you did a
Yeah.
good job with lip syncing it. You did a really, really good job
Yeah.
with doing it.
That's why I
Yeah.
had to ask. I was like, did
Yeah.
she I was like,
Because
was
when I
that
watched it
real?
too, I thought the same thing. And there's no way she's singing this. I'm like, can she sing? Because like it was perfect. It was
Or I
right.
mean
It was,
Well,
opera like
being musical, I knew how to cut off exactly when she did, take the breath when she did.
yeah.
So for other people, because I've worked with actors that have had to lip sync, and it's very hard for them.
Hmm.
They're not musical, but for me, it was almost like a
Second
Came
technical
natural.
challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I enjoy that. Like I think I'd be, I would love just for shits and giggles and fun to like in all these Netflix films that are shot and wherever they are in the world,
Yeah.
all dubbed, and it's so awful. The dubbing sounds so bad.
Yeah.
But
I love now,
yeah,
like in Korea and
Yeah.
Poland and all kinds of stuff.
everywhere.
Yeah.
But I would probably be very, very good at that because I know how to. I don't even, when they do all that stuff, people look at the screen and they try and I don't do it that way. I shut my eyes because I hear it musically.
Hmm.
Right. Right.
So,
Totally
all the
different.
rhythm, even in talking, still hear it musically. So yeah, great working with Robert.
Oh man. And plus, like, after, after that film, you did some other stuff, and then you took, you basically stopped acting for a long time to raise a family. But then you also did some of your own music stuff, right? I mean, you released Kelly Smile, which was your uh, album, correct?
Yeah, but that was very, very personal because I have a book. It's coming out either later this year or the beginning of next year, and it's a memoir. And
Mm.
Kelly is a huge part of it. On March 11th, it will be, God, I think it's going to be 18 years since Kelly passed.
Hmm.
Kelly was my neighbor, my best friend. She lived across the street and one house up. I think it's the third chapter in my book where she first comes up. And her mom was a very, very famous jazz singer. Her dad wrote the song, Get Your Kicks on Route 66. You
Okay.
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and they were very popular back in the day in the late 70s, a hit TV show called Emergency.
Okay.
They were on that TV show, so they were very popular. And Julie was in westerns on film, and she was she had a number one hit song on the Billboard charts, Cry Me a River. So anyway, my best friend got sick and died 18 years ago, and I wanted to do a tribute because her dad died. Kelly got sick. Her mom had a stroke in that. Then her mom died. Then Kelly died. Well, actually, just right before that, her sister died,
Wow.
and her Kelly was 1 year older than I was, and she had two twin brothers, Reese and Joe and Jody. And then he died after Kelly. So we just
Oh
had so
wow.
much loss in this family. And this family was so impactful on my life. And so I wanted to do a tribute album to Kelly. And that's why it's called Kelly Smile. Her dad wrote that song. He wrote a song for each one of his kids. That one he
Oh,
wrote, Kelly. And then I have a post. I wanted to do a song in February called February Brings the Rain and post about it because I never did anything with that album. And the reason I didn't is because the producer who I brought on, who's a huge Bobby Troop fan, and I ended up having a relationship with him for 5.5 years. So we were
Hmm.
very delayed in ever starting the album because we fell in love.
Yeah.
And then this is after, of course, my divorce. And then he suddenly died at 48 years old, dropped dead of a heart attack.
Jesus.
jeez.
And so, and we had just recorded the record finally, but then he died. And so I finished the album, and a friend of mine put it out there. I never did 1 ounce of promotion, never anything with the album. And so the album has a lot of mixed emotions.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, I did sing, and I was still singing because my ex-husband's a film composer, and So I was singing on some commercials and stuff, even though I'd stopped acting, because I
Okay.
stopped the day I found out I was pregnant with my older son.
Hmm.
I'm
Mm.
done because I had a full-time working mom my whole life and never had parents at home.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
did not want that for my kids. So I wanted to be a full-time parent. So I left the business. I just went bye-bye.
yeah,
And they were trying for a long time, for about the first, especially the first year or two. Boy, I just got so many offers to work all the time, but I was had a baby and was nursing and
being a
making
mother.
organic food every day. And my kids never had a bottle and never had a jar of food because I made it all myself
Wow.
Yeah.
and nursed. And so yeah, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I just wanted to be clear about that because it's so personal to me,
Of course.
that album.
I'm glad
And
you did.
I need to put that album too, the CD available for sale on my website, but it is on Spotify and Apple Music.
Okay.
And it's almost all of it are songs that Bobby Troop wrote. There's or something that came out like you remember that song? You guys, you're so young, you may not know this song. Do you remember a group called Bread?
No.
Bread? No.
Okay, well, listeners will. It's a very, very famous group called Bread, and they had a song called If. Very hit song back in the late 70s, early 80s. I don't remember. But that song, I used Bobby and Julie all the time when they have company. They're like, Jill, come over and play music with us. So I'd bring my guitar and schlep across the street, and they would always have me sing If. I sang If like 5 days a week for them years. So a song like that's on the album, but
I
most of
heard
it,
it. I
yeah,
I was
most,
going down YouTube and I heard your cover on it.
oh, okay, okay. Yeah, it's just with guitar. And the reason I did it that way is because that's how I always sing it.
Hmm.
So
Mhm.
if I wasn't playing it on the record, but I always played it and sang it. So it's a very, very personal
Yeah.
album from how it came to be. Of course, I use the greatest musicians in the world, one of them, Dave, who is no longer with us.
Hmm.
Mm.
He died in 2008.
Wow.
Not to
Um.
be a downer.
No, no. This is
No,
part.
it's a tragic but heartwarming story, and I'm glad you
Yeah,
really went in depth with that because it brings more to the album. You know.
it does.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it does. And, having done the Christmas EP last year, which I'll continue it and make into a full album. And I do have a red vinyl. I have a special edition. I only did 100 of them, and they're not all sold out yet.
Yeah.
And the vinyl is available too on my website, and that has the 5 new recordings and 4 older recordings that I did when I was married with my husband, and who is a, very popular film composer.
Hmm.
But anyway, after making that album, I'm like, you know what? I might start putting some of those songs out on social media. And so I tried to with February Brings the Rain, which Kelly's mom sang on one of her 38 albums, and Bobby wrote it, but I couldn't get it on Instagram.
Huh.
I don't know why it's not a full, like about half of the songs from the album will come up. So I
Weird.
ended up not posting it. I keep saying I'm going to post the few songs though that are on that album. I'm going to start doing that just to say, hey, it exists,
Yeah.
Do everything now. I know I have zero. You guys, this is so good. It's brought me so much peace and happiness in my life. I let go of expectations. I do what I do because I love to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
I need to make money. Anything I do to make money, it's going to be because I love to do it. And if it's ever a have to because you have to make money, then I will love that I'm doing it because I have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I learned that recently that you cannot have expectations on shit because expectations bring disappointment and
Yep.
disappointment brings regret or resentments, you
That's
know?
right, but even to take that a step further, not only do you not have the disappointment and the regret that can follow, but when you don't have the expectation, another emotion comes into play. Joy.
Mm-hmm.
You always are doing it for joyful reasons.
That part.
You can always give 1,000% plus because there's no expectation. Therefore, you're not like watching
Yeah,
yourself. You
exactly.
you know what I
Yeah.
Because people do it when they fall in love, they do it with a job they're interviewing for, a house they're putting an offer out in, or an
Mm-hmm.
apartment they want. So I just go, whatever's meant to be will be.
Exactly. Exactly.
We hope to like run into you at a convention in the future. I'm sure it'll happen.
I hope so. Like I said, I love to get out there and meet the fans and yeah.
I'll start yelling at people, don't worry.
Yeah. I would definitely looking forward to your upcoming projects, A Dying Heart and Ralph's
Dying
Perfect
art.
Christmas.
The dying art.
Dying
It's
Art,
dying
excuse me.
art.
A Dying Art and Ralph's Perfect Christmas.
Ralph's Perfect Christmas, my book. I don't know for sure if this will stay the title, but right now it's called The Skin I Live In because you
Okay.
guys know my vitiligo.
No.
Have you noticed how white I am?
No.
Mm.
I've turned white. I've turned white because I have vitiligo. Vitiligo is
Right.
that thing where you see
Your
people with spots and
Yeah,
pigmentation.
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, so I had that for many, many years and I still have it. But I'm one of the rare people that completely lost all of my color. Look at me. I'm like scary white. I'm like, I'm Casper. I'm transparent. I was like, wait, is this possible? I'm a white person and I'm more white?
You got to double down. You got to double down and start getting roles as Ghost.
I can do it. They no makeup involved, no CGI.
Funny.
Yeah, so I have that book coming out. The Skin I Live In, A Journey of Self-Worth. It's a memoir. And I can't think of anything else. But yeah, I've got some other projects too, but they're still in the works. So we'll
Mhm.
talk about them later as they happen. But those other ones are in the can. One's completely done. The other one, I think they're still editing.
And you said you have your album. It's located on Spotify and Apple Music.
Yes, both the Christmas, which I'm so happy with. So I'll just let cats out of the bag. I told you I'm having surgery. So what happened was when I found out that they found this terrible problem in me,
Yeah.
the first surgeon, I've been to many surgeons, but the first one, and that they've all have said, yes, this is true. I would have a 1% chance of vocal paralyzation and much, much stronger chance after the surgery, which means I would never sing again.
Oh.
And then a much stronger chance of vocal damage.
Hmm.
So I thought to myself, well, gosh. I've got that Ralph's Perfect Christmas coming out. I have a
Yeah.
song in that movie. I have a great song in that film. And I thought, you know what? I always wanted to do a Christmas album. That movie will be coming out. I should do it now because
Yeah.
once I have surgery, I may never be able to sing
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I made the record and I did it with no notice. I did it with my partner, Brandon Jarrett, and we did it so fast. We only got to do 5 songs, so it's just an EP.
Hmm.
And I'm so proud of it. I think it turned out terrific. And
As
just
you
so you
should.
guys hear the song with the girls on it,
Yeah.
it's so good. The Here Comes Santa Claus,
Yeah.
it's so good with all the horror ladies on it. And Christmas in March, Christmas in April, Christmas in May, June, July. Take a listen to anybody who watches this because you'll love it with the girls. There's also a video of it on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. And CM Punk, you know
Yeah.
CM
Yeah, the
The
Punk.
voice.
wrestler.
Yeah.
Yep, the world champion. He plays Santa Claus in our song.
Yeah. I saw that. Yeah.
I gotta watch this. I gotta check this out.
Because originally I saw Barbara Crampton post it during the holidays, and I was like, oh, like sick, or clips of it at least.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Oh
thank
man.
you guys.
You're welcome. Well, real quick, do you have an Instagram page for the fans who are?
I do. It's everything is my name. I got hacked on Facebook. So there is my professional page on Facebook that still exists, but I have no interaction with it because I got hacked.
Mhm.
So I'm currently on Instagram, on X, on Threads. I don't do any of the political stuff. If
Yeah,
anyone says, "Oh, don't do that because of that," okay, great.
Yeah.
That's why I'm on them, all of them.
yeah,
Because my only thing that I care about are the fans.
yeah.
And then I'm gonna start. I keep saying I'm gonna start my TikTok. And who knows, maybe I'll start it before. I have the account, but I don't use it. My daughter-in-law, my near daughter-in-law, she's becoming my daughter-in-law this year. She did a post because I cleaned out my closet, and that post, it's just under 1 million views.
Wow.
Mm,
It was so surprising because she threw in this picture of me because it was all about the clothes that I gave her, and she's holding them up and whatever. And she threw in some pictures of me in the one dress I gave her. And of course, Brad Pitt is in some of the pictures.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of people recognized it,
yeah.
picture. And did anybody talk about Stepfather popcorn? Next, no one. They all, because it was more general public,
Yeah.
Babes in Toyland, babe, your mother's Mary Contrary, your mother-in-law, Mary Contrary, Babes in Toyland, Babes in Toyland.
Tony
So
Bias, yeah.
that made me go, I really need to get ticked. I need to like use my account on TikTok
Yeah.
because there's obviously, but I always thought like, well, who's gonna know me? It's like they're all young. But
That's why
I'm
I don't.
changing.
That's why I don't use it either because I mean, I have one and I try to do it, but it's hard to get traction a lot of times.
Well, I'm going to start to use it. And you know what? My daughter-in-law, she's so cute with it. She does very well on TikTok. And she says that this is a thing about TikTok. You have to do it every day.
Yeah.
And I'm
Mhm.
really bad at that. Like I was posting so much last year, but this year with my surgery coming up
Right.
and that's forced me to, I'm going to need help recovering and
Yeah.
everything. My parents are like, you're moving in here, you're staying with us until you get recovered from your surgery, which will be many, many months from now. So, anyway, um, I'm not posting hardly at all right now, but I'm going to. I'm going to start posting again and a lot, and I'm going to start up TikTok. But my account's already there, so you can follow me. I just need to catch up to it.
Social media is tough. It's every day. Like no matter what social media account you have to post every single day.
You gotta be on it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
It's
I've
tough.
been so bad, you guys. I've been so bad this month. That's why I missed your messages because
Yeah.
I've been on very much.
It's just it's always just kind of like, oh man, like because I know everybody gets busy, right? I mean, plus you have personal things going on. It is what it is. I was just like, I hope we catch her at a reasonable time.
It worked
Um,
out.
yeah, it worked out great. So,
Yeah.
again,
Well,
thank you so
thank you,
much.
guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And for those that are listening, you can find us on Instagram at beyond the underscore ether, or my personal account is Kelly underscore DTO on Instagram. Nick, what you got
You can find me on Instagram at Barry Creep.
about how much you love my beautiful face or my hat?
That
Um,
sexy hat.
that's it. again, thank you so much for joining us, and we will be talking to you and seeing probably you. We will see you in the future.
Yeah,
Thank
definitely.
you.
We
Have a
appreciate
good
you
day.
so much. You too.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.